Hi, I'm Peter Zaldivar. Thanks so much for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm honored to be a member of the Alumni Society, to participate in the Leadership Summit, and to have been selected as a member of the class of 2020. As an introduction, in 2003, I co-founded an investment firm called Kabouter, based in Chicago. Kabouter invests exclusively in public equities of small cap companies outside the US and manages $4.5 billion for institutional clients like foundations, endowments, pensions, and family offices. Today, I want to talk to you about one of our greatest assets at Kabouter, our incredible diversity as a firm. I myself am Latino, the son of immigrants from Argentina, and I'm proud to lead a firm where nearly 70% of our staff are people of color and women. This is not simply a virtue for the sake of being virtuous. We speak over a dozen languages, and 100% of our analysts have lived abroad or come from immigrant families. As a firm that invests internationally, our cultural proficiency and language skills give us a competitive advantage every day. We like to consider ourselves both the ultimate insiders and the ultimate outsiders. We invest in 26 countries, and because of Kabouter's inherent diversity, are often insiders in those countries. Whether we are doing business in Japan, the Netherlands, or Korea, we literally speak their language. But it's not just the fact that our analysts speak the local languages. They also draw from a deep well of cultural understanding. For instance, one of our analysts, who grew up in China, might run across a modest CEO and recognize if he is displaying a culturally appropriate level of modesty or if he has something to hide. He also understands when companies are using boilerplate language but are expecting investors to read between the lines. Because he can speak the language, he can read blogs and social media posts to truly grasp the sentiment of local consumers and investors. And for investors like us, that means the difference between discovering a company on the cusp of a big breakthrough or taking a pass on a company because we just couldn't understand it. And that's what makes us insiders abroad. But here at home, in North America, we also benefit from being outsiders. In an age where conventional wisdom has led the economy through a series of bubbles, booms, and busts, our diversity of thought brings us a fresh perspective on investing. I myself have plenty of experience being both an insider and an outsider. My parents emigrated from Argentina in the 1950s, and they went to great lengths to try to become the real Americans they thought they should be. They settled down in Oak Park, just outside Chicago, not exactly a hub for the Latino community in those days. And in everything my parents did, they were trying to become what they saw as real Americans. They joined professional organizations and social clubs, but made few friends in the largely Anglo-only environment. Perhaps it was their thick accents or their less Americanized emotional openness. But no matter how hard they attempted to assimilate, it never seemed to be enough. As the youngest in my family, I grew up in two worlds, like my older siblings, a translator for my parents, but also able to turn off my Hispanic identity when I felt it was appropriate. I had the luxury of learning, at an early age, how to bridge two worlds. Yet I never really got to feel like I truly belonged in either one. Later, when I moved to Asia and was asked where I was from, I felt like I was finally in a place where I could just be Peter, an American. But when I would tell them that I was from Chicago, that answer never seemed to be accepted until I mentioned my parents were from Argentina, as if I somehow didn't look American enough. One day in Hiroshima, Japan, I was riding a motorcycle home from teaching an English class. I was hit by a truck and laid up in a Japanese hospital for weeks. While the hospital provided plenty of time to prepare for the law school admission test, I'm not sure that there's a more alienating experience than someone trying to explain to you which bones you've broken in a language you don't fully understand. All of these life experiences not only gave me an outsider's perspective, but they also taught me how to build bridges. Bridges between languages, between cultures, and between people. And maybe more importantly, I knew my experiences weren't unique. I knew there had to be other people out there who had also been those cultural bridge builders throughout their lives, whether knowingly or not, and that those unique skills should be harnessed as a strength. This ultimately led to the creation of Kabouter in 2003. We think it is a firm for those who want to operate a little bit differently. My co-founder, Marcel Houtzager, also had plenty of experience as an outsider, and he knows how to bridge cultural divides. Marcel is Dutch, moved to Nigeria as an infant, attended high school in Brazil, and then college in the United States. Marcel and I headquartered our new firm 800 miles west of Wall Street, here in Chicago. And we built a diverse team of 35 people that brings a fresh set of ideas to everything we do. Most investors or investment firms like to invest in larger companies because that's where you can make the most fees with the least amount of effort. But Marcel and I built a firm where we aren't afraid to get our hands dirty. We focus on small-sized but rich investment opportunities that require deep digging, long-haul investment, and a commitment to bringing camera-shy businesses out into the daylight. We might invest in a French company that is the world's only global call center, or a Taiwanese firm that is the biggest tester of cell phone chips in the world, not only because these businesses have functioned so well, but because they haven't been actively pursued by the stock analysts at Wall Street's biggest banks. While other investors might never talk to companies directly, we don't mind taking the time to pick up the phone, or under normal circumstances, to jump on a plane to build a relationship with a smaller foreign company and to learn about their businesses firsthand. Kabouter is full of people for whom the phrase, "This seems like too much research," doesn't just sound lazy, it sounds like bad business. We are willing to go the extra mile because it's in developing these relationships that we're really able to shine. But perhaps the quality that most sets us apart from other international small cap investors is our commitment to what we call friendly activism or friendly engagement. After we invest in a company, we partner with its management to unlock their company's potential and to help share their story with other investors. Sometimes that means rewriting their investment presentations, which in some cases is simply translating them to English. Other times, we help companies raise their environmental, social, and governance scores, or give strategic advice. Kabouter will even help companies put on a US roadshow, a sort of debutante ball for businesses that need help reaching out directly to US investors. Some of these solutions are easy, and some of them require more legwork. But whatever we are asking managements to do, we think we have the right team. We have the cultural competency and sensitivity to connect directly to the CEO. We can collaborate on how to take their companies to the next level and earn his or her trust. Because our team has lived in so many of the countries where we invest, we are aware of those important and sometimes subtle differences in the way a request should be made to achieve the best outcome. And we can tell if the management teams are likely to do what we ask or are just being polite. Our firm has been successful because of the diversity that we have actively sought out. People whose life experiences don't mirror your own offer a variety of opinions and problem-solving styles. They have new ways of thinking that we believe adds value to the unique projects we take on. Diversity is not about checking boxes. The skill sets we seek out, those bridge builders, are valued precisely because of their diverse experience. We don't look to fit someone into a traditional role. Rather, we hope that their lived experience provides a new viewpoint and a new way of finding a solution, approaching a problem, or in Kabouter's case, investing in a stock. And I challenge others to do the same. That is my call to action to you. Think about your candidate pools. The same sources of candidates will continue to provide the same candidate pipelines. We can all continue to find these new and untapped sources of quality candidates in the hopes that our teams, bosses, and boardrooms can better reflect the actual populations of the places we live and invest. Thank you.